Loretta Young started her film career as a child and won 3 Emmy Awards for a show she hosted and starred in. It would be no exaggeration to say that she lived quite a remarkable life. In this video, we're going to take a look at her achievements. First film and signing a contract. Young was born Gretchen Young in Salt Lake City on January 6, 1913, to Gladys and John Earl Young. When she was 3 years old, her parents separated and she began living with her mother in Southern California along with her 2 older sisters. Her mother ran a boarding house and married one of her boarders when Loretta Young was 10 years old. 2 years later, she gave birth to Loretta's stepsister, Georgiana. Loretta's sisters were child actresses, and she often appeared in films with them. She was only 2 or 3 years old when she appeared in her first film, a silent film called Sweet Kitty Bellairs. When she was in high school, she was signed to a contract by the manager of actress Colleen Moore. The name Loretta was given to Young by Moore, saying it was the name of her favorite doll. Loretta was often praised for her natural beauty, because of which she got some of the roles in the beginning of her film career, eloping with another actor and winning her first award. Young made headlines in several newspapers in 1930 when she ran away with actor Grant Withers, who was 9 years older than she. They first met when they appeared together in a film in 1930. They married in Arizona, but the marriage was annulled in 1931. Ironically, both stars acted in a film called Too Young to Marry. In the same year, their marriage was annulled. Young made about 8 movies a year. She won the Academy Award for Best Actress, her first award for her performance in The Farmer's Daughter. Soon after that, she received a nomination for an Academy Award for her role in Come to the Stable, hosting a TV show. Young's last appearance in a film was in 1953. From 1953 to 1961, she hosted and starred in a TV show called The Loretta Young Show. In the first season, when the show was called Letter to Loretta, each episode was based on fan mail that Young received. The show ran for 8 years on NBC, and Young won 3 Emmy Awards for it. At the end of the second season, Young had to be hospitalized because of overwork, and she couldn't star in the show in the remaining seasons, but she did continue to serve as the show's host. She tried to revive the show in the 1960s with the new Loretta Young Show, but it failed to become as successful and popular as the original show and was canceled after just 26 episodes. Judith Lewis. While working on the set of The Call of the Wild in 1935, Young became embroiled in an affair with actor Clark Gable and became pregnant during filming. Fearing backlash by 20th Century Pictures and knowing that they would make her get an abortion, she decided to hide her pregnancy from them. Young told her family, and her sisters decided to help her by making her go on a vacation to England during the final stages of her pregnancy. When she came back to America, she gave an interview in which she stated that she had been absent from Hollywood because of a childhood condition. She gave birth to Judith on November 6, 1935 in California and put her in an orphanage so she could adopt her later, preventing the studio or the press to find out that the baby was hers. After spending 19 months in orphanages, Judith was finally reunited with her mother. Young soon married producer Tom Lewis, and Judith took his last name. Young was 22 when all of this happened. Lewis didn't learn about her parentage until she was 31 years old, and Young refused to talk about it in public until 1999. According to Linda Lewis, Young's daughter-in-law, Young had been abused by Gable, and she never consented to anything he did to her. This information became public after Young and Judith's deaths. Volunteer work in return from retirement. After the Loretta Young Show ended, Young worked with various charities. She was a devout Catholic and worked with Catholic charities with other actresses. In the 1980s, she briefly returned from retirement and starred in 2 films, winning a Golden Globe Award for one of them and a nomination for the other one. She was given the Women in Film Crystal Award in 1988 for her efforts in expanding the role of women in the entertainment industry. She has 2 stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and a Golden Palm Star on the Walk of Stars in California. Marriage and death. Young's first marriage was with Grant Withers in 1930. Her second husband was Tom Lewis, with whom she had 2 sons, Peter Lewis and Christopher Lewis. Peter became a musician and Christopher a film director. Young's marriage with Lewis fell apart in the mid-1960s and they divorced. Her third marriage was with fashion designer Jeanne Louis, who remained with Young until his death in 1997. Young herself died of ovarian cancer 3 years later. She died at the house of her half-sister Georgiana in California. She was buried in Holy Cross Cemetery in Culver City, California. Young was a Republican who endorsed Dwight Eisenhower and also voted for George W. Bush through absentee ballot. She supported Richard Nixon and Ronald Reagan and was an active member of the Hollywood Republican Committee. Young was 87 years old at the time of her death. She was incredibly young when she started acting, and she's one of the 25 actresses who won an Academy Award for their role in a comedy film. She was a phenomenal star who possessed both good looks and great acting skills. So what's your favorite Loretta Young movie or episode of the Loretta Young Show? Let us know in the comments below, and make sure you hit the subscribe button.